The British think tank Labour Together, set up by current sitting Labour Party ministers, is advocating to create a DOGE-style organization and cut the jobs of thousands of civil servants. They are looking at hundreds of organizations, including NHS England, and £353 billion in public money to be cut. This plan has been dubbed Project Chainsaw by Labour Together, and Number 10 is looking intently at it. The chainsaw is associated with Elon Musk after his stunt at the Conservative Political Action Conference when it was given to him by Javier Milei, the man who has crashed and destroyed the state of Argentina, another far-right actor that now Labour Together wants to emulate. Labour Together was set up by Rachel Reeves, Wes Streeting, Shabama Mahmood, Steve Reed, Bridget Phillipson, Lucy Powell, Lisa Nandy, and John Cruddas. It is effectively the current ministers of the Labour government and the most important movers and shakers in Keir Starmer's government. It's currently run by former Labour MP and man incredibly good at losing elections, Jonathan Ashworth, and its executive director is Matthew Upton. They can be credited for our incredibly reactionary turn with Labour's migration policy and some of the more extreme versions like their plan to make it illegal for asylum seekers to ever apply for citizenship. Yes, that's a real thing that the supposedly center-left Labour government actually has proposed. They're also who we can credit with Keir Starmer's weak foreign policy of not doing anything in response to Donald Trump other than trying to flatter him and give him a magical letter from the king like he's Charlie in the Chocolate Factory. This is also where we get their obsession with big tech too, and their obsession with growth, and specifically how we need to shove AI into every aspect of the UK government, and where we get our fun ideas about privatizing the NHS, and where ideas like Keir Starmer creating nuclear energy facilities to fund Amazon AI factories comes from. And this one I just want to show you because he's quoting James Carville, a man whose recent strategy for the Democrats, he told them to literally just lay down and let Trump do what he's gonna do. Remember, this is the same government that was refusing still to do anything about Trump's tariffs on Britain, one that will be slammed by these steel and aluminum tariffs. And if we think this is the end of the tariffs, this is what the US Commerce Secretary said just a few hours ago, that the tariffs would be worth a recession. And at the same time, Keir Starmer is going after the people in Britain and accusing them of all being welfare scroungers, where he is being torn apart by every group that has any sort of moral fabric for actively accusing people of stealing welfare and lying about being mentally ill. And to make this more ridiculous, even the Liberal Democrats won for retaliatory tariffs. But instead, we have the welfare minister saying that people are taking the mickey, who of course attacks young people, stating, "There is generally a problem with many young people, particularly the COVID generation, but we can't have a situation where doing a day's work is in itself seen as stressful. Just the nature of life that isn't stress and pressure." And Keir Starmer said that the long-term sick should be made to return to work, quote, where they can. The basic proposition that you should look for work is a right. People need to look for work, but they also need support. That's why I've gone out to look at schemes where businesses are supporting people back into work from long-term sickness. Mr. Starmer seems to have forgotten that after 14 years of Tory austerity and 1 year of red Tory austerity, that people's lives have gotten significantly harder, and there was a literal global pandemic that affected the lives of millions and millions of people in Britain, and people died. Tens of thousands of people died, Mr. Keir Starmer. People had to live and mourn with those losses, and they had no support from either your predecessor's government or your own. And now you expect the country to sit down while you kick them once more and tell them, no, actually, your sickness, your mental health, your loss, your anything, that's just you lying and not being tough enough. You need to get hard. What was the point of voting Labour if you're just going to do the things the Tories were going to do anyway? Because there is no reason to vote for Labour anymore if you are just doing what they were going to do anyway. Because at least the Tories do not pretend to be anything other than Tories. Labour, at least, should try to do better. It should try to represent the workers. The idea that even Keir Starmer and his cronies have uttered in the last few days, that Labour is just the party of working people, not the people on benefits, spits in the face of every part of our history and our founding and even our greatest legislative achievements. It's embarrassing, Mr. Starmer, that you seem to not understand that we live in a world where, yes, people are sicker because we had a global pandemic, and things are harder, and they have not been dealt with for more than a decade. But you choose not to understand. You, in your ivory tower, in your nice, lovely provided home and housing benefit along with all those around you and all the extra money you have coming in, well, it seems it's much easier for you to talk to Donald Trump than it is to the average working person. And no, Minister Liz Kendall, the best way to get people back into work is not to cut the benefits bill. Now, please do some engagement so some people see and I get paid. Thank you.